At the root of Sovereign's Capital is a belief that culture is shaped in the marketplace. Amazing things are being built, constructed, or grown in the world, and we get a chance to come alongside with capital and encourage not just with the financial use of capital, but also with values, encouragement, equipping, and ultimately community.
Jesus says to seek first the kingdom of God and all these things will be added to you. When Sovereigns was founded, the original founding team was trying to seek first the kingdom of God in the marketplace. And that is part of the DNA of Sovereign's Capital.
Our role as Sovereigns is to equip folks as they're trying to cross that chasm, but at the same time to encourage them, to be this almost pastoral presence.
We didn't do a whole lot over the first 18 months because it wasn't like there's a directory of Christian entrepreneurs that you just go ahead and call on the yellow pages. And so it took it until about 2 or 3 years, but then the word got out and we discovered our first major problem. Our first major problem was that we had too much deal flow. We got into this business because we wanted to be an encouragement to faith-driven entrepreneurs, and yet we were saying no to 99 out of 100 businesses that are coming to us for financing.
There were entrepreneurs who were sincerely motivated in their faith and wanted to reflect that in how they led their business. And then over time, we also came to realize that there were investors that God had given capital to steward, and they wanted to more clearly reflect their values and how they shepherded that capital over time. And so what we see is really an intersection of entrepreneurs who are looking for values-aligned capital and investors who are looking to reflect their values and how they allocate capital. And what happens there in the middle is a really awesome and kind of redemptive loop of investors stewarding capital into leaders who are building companies that are creating new products and services.
That impact is not just on a grand scale, it's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. Underneath each of those companies are literally thousands of individual human beings in whose lives we can invest, to whom we can show what Christian faith-aligned investing can look like, what the love of God can look like.
Today we're a $100 million organization, but more importantly, I like to say we're a 115 team member organization. And that's just because those are the lives we've impacted. And knowing that those employees exponentially get impacted by the circles they run in, our ability to take the salt and light into the world is magnified and multiplied by the number of team members that we can get in our organization.
The mission of SLTC is to provide training for individuals that want career in line work. We would never have envisioned 3 campuses and thousands of students being impacted. And I think that's the thing that's the most exciting is that, yeah, we're making an impact in the trades, we're making an impact in the industry, but how many lives are we making an impact in that go far beyond that?
Young people come from all over the country to the lineman school, and in 15 weeks, they learn the trade of becoming a lineman, but the other thing they're exposed to at the lineman school is a co-curriculum called Elevated Life, where they're learning not just this trade, but they're learning about life itself and purpose and relationships and really even their relationship with God.
Brindley Mountain Fire Apparatus today is approximately 170 employees operating in 3 countries, and we believe that this business and these people and these fire trucks ultimately belong to the Lord, and we want to give Him honor and glory in the way that we go about that business. But as lower middle market businesses grow, it becomes somewhat inevitable to intersect with private capital, and Sovereign's Capital provides an unbelievable opportunity to have the private capital and the expertise available to you to grow without doing anything to dilute the Christian mission and vision of the business.
We were really, really well aligned, right, in terms of how we viewed people, how we viewed the role faith could play. And then that's led to how can you now take it to the next level? How can you involve those core values? How you can shed the light on issues? How can you make more community involvement? Intentional efforts to provide support groups for team members. You know, those types of things are all things we're starting to think about that a year and a half ago weren't on the radar.
As we think about leaders like Kyle and others who are entrepreneurs called to live out their faith in how they do business and to be salt and light in industries like construction that desperately need that salt and light, we are proud as Sovereigns to be called by God to come alongside and partner with those entrepreneurs and to be able to provide the capital needed to live out God's mission in the marketplace as part of the revival He's leading there.
Some amazing limited partners that have come alongside us. There's some amazing team members that have joined the team to be a part of what God is doing in and through Sovereigns. But the reality is that I think we're very much, somewhere between the first and second inning of a baseball game.
Out of approximately $100 trillion in assets today, Christians control at least $30 trillion of that. And yet, faith-aligned investing is really only about $50 to $100 billion. So there's literally trillions of dollars of opportunity to create greater faith-aligned impact in the world. I want to see Sovereign step into that, encourage others to step into that, and seek a real transformation of the marketplace.
How we shepherd capital during our lifetimes matter. How we think about actually stewardship beyond our own lifetimes matter. It can't just be about the manufacture and distribution of widgets. It can't just be about building bigger barns. It has to be about some broader mission.
Investing isn't something dry. It's not something you just do to make money. It's something that you can do with a real sense of purpose and to encourage human flourishing in the world.
I pray for a holy awakening. I pray for purity. As the work that we do is becoming more mainstream, we need God to show up and to raise up not 20 or 30 people like what we have at Sovereigns, but 200 or 300 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 20 or 30,000 people to actually help enable this vision in the coming decades.